One of the key things that we are finding in our work is that managers are not equipped to deal with the natural conflict and disagreement that comes with so much change and so much diversity in the world.
Where is the lie? Even Harvard Business Review, they said, look, conflict is one of the most important skills that leaders can have right now.
Yeah.
Because frankly, most people don't have it. And if they even get a whiff of conflict, most people are trying to either avoid it or what do we call it? The two moms in the room, like the mom style of management. Go ahead and go over there and work it out. Come back out and we'll figure it out when you figure it out, and then we'll start working together again. And dare I say that's a little bit what I would call negligent as a leader.
Yeah.
Because conflict's going to happen.
Yeah.
And what we just said, folks do not usually have those skills in how to delve in, unravel truth versus stories that are made up or that have ran away in your head, and really get into those, delve into what's at play here and how do we get along and work better together.
What we also find, using your mom analogy, be either, hey, you two work it out, or staff that come and expect the manager to be the mom and mitigate conflict between them. And rather than, again, spending that time up front, so that you do equip your teams to be able to work through that effectively together.
I'm just thinking about someone just told me about 2 weeks ago that there was a conflict, that they didn't even know there was a conflict. They're an employee of the organization that we know well. And they were avoided by their team for 2 months versus someone saying, hey, this offended me, or I didn't understand why that was your response to this. Two employees decided, we're going to avoid this one employee and act like they are not existing, or they're non-existent. That baffles me.
Yeah.
That folks would be at work with that kind of tension, that kind of pent up negative energy versus just having a conversation and see, can we work through it?
Yeah, it baffles you, but I bet you it doesn't surprise you.
It doesn't surprise me.
Because we see that avoidance. And I think what you and I really care about, and part of what we bring to organizations, is shining a light on how much money is being lost,
a lot.
How much productivity is being lost. And you and I can walk into an organization and within 5 minutes, we will have been told this group doesn't like this group.
Everything.
It's an open secret.
We know that's Petty Patty. That's Raging River. That's, who all the players. Right. We know that's Favorite Fabio. Like, what's going on within the organization, even when the leaders are sometimes like, really? I didn't know that, or I didn't know everyone else knew that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah. And so what we find is this tendency toward avoidance, or people just need to get over it. In some cases, that organization is bleeding lost revenue, or they're bleeding time waste that would not happen if they really would just prioritize, sit down, and effectively deal with the conflict.
And most people think, well, but it's not an if, it's when. Because people, if you're in any kind of close proximity with folks, you're going to have conflict.
You and I have conflict.
And I don't love conflict.
10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we did.
Just kidding.
Well, are we? Because, we have conflict, but that's because we are in close proximity.
Yeah.
We're dealing with intimate details of our lives and people's lives as we work to find solutions for clients and to do what we believe is making folks better, or our workplace better, or making, we spend so much time at work. We take that very seriously, that people are having a good time or a decent time at work, right? And so we do have conflict, but folks are going to have conflict. And a lot of times organizations don't set leaders up or managers up with the tools they need to actually lead through the conflict.
Yeah.
Right.
The other dangerous thing that you and I see is when we come into an organization and there's no conflict, like it's eerily quiet.
Yeah.
That it's being avoided so much that folks don't feel safe to disagree. I know we love Dr. Amy Gallo's work with Harvard Business Review as well, who said and wrote the research on why companies should be disagreeing more.
You have to if you want to innovate.
Yeah.
You have to if you want innovation. You have to if you want to have new ideas, new technology, new ways of thinking and working. If you want someone to be able to poke a hole in what you think is the correct answer, when it's like, that may be partly correct.
Right.
However, there's another way of looking at this or doing this. Or are you missing a market share? Or this is offensive to a big market share. If you do not have folks that can speak up and have that safety to actually disagree in a respectful way.
And again, it really is about equipping both the leaders and team members to have a sense of what is healthy conflict, what is healthy disagreement, what are the types of things that can cause that disagreement, and how to be able to work through it. We really like to get to teams beforehand to be able to equip them to know that there is going to be discomfort, there is going to be tension, and how to hold space for that and navigate it effectively so that they can get the benefits that you talked about without going underground, going passive aggressive, or worse yet, having toxic behavior that really destroys and erodes teams.
Yeah, so sometimes, when we're working with organizations, we like to use the metaphor of the mountain, right? So when I was young and dumb, as you know, I climbed Mount Fuji. And I was woefully unprepared, right? I didn't have the right sneakers on. I didn't have anything. Well, I won't go through that story right now. However, what we like to when we look at conflict, we look at it as pre-climbing a mountain. Like, do you have all the tools you need, right? And so when you're climbing a mountain, you may need a walking stick. You need water. Some people need oxygen. You need all these different things, right? And we feel like when you're a leader, you need to have that pre-planning phase. So you do need tools. And we like to offer some of those tools, and we have tools that we use and help organizations adopt and apply. So they're ready for when the conflict does occur as you start to ascend up the mountain. And so that's how we look at it. And then we go, okay, then you're at the top of the mountain. You're having that conflict now, but I'm prepared. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be discomfort. But I also feel this great sense of accomplishment that I've made it up this far when I'm starting to now dismount, right? And descend. And so we like to look at it as, let's pre-plan, be prepared, and then what's the exit strategy out of that conflict? Because I do think, and I wonder what you think about this, a lot of times people are afraid to acknowledge or engage with the conflict because they don't think there's a way of recovery. They don't think there's a way of getting back on track. And if they acknowledge how bad it is, that then the toothpaste is out of the tube.
And it's that last piece as well, I think, that is so key. And the research bears out, and I think you and I found that both with ourselves and with the work, is that debrief afterward really does have the opportunity to bring a greater sense of trust, to build and deepen relationship. That, again, conflict doesn't have to be just a bad thing, but can enhance the effectiveness of the team, can enhance and deepen the relationships when you've worked through it, when you've gotten to know each other better and established maybe how you're going to do it differently into the future.
Yeah.